Hello.
Hi, Miss Rodriguez. How are you?
Good morning, Principal Adams.
Thanks for coming in today.
Of course. So I am excited to discuss our third graders who are getting the math intervention. I have all the data here, and
Me
I've been
too.
closely monitoring the data, and there's some promising growth that I'm excited to talk about with you today.
Awesome. That's such fantastic news. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's been happening in your
A-
intervention?
Absolutely. So as you know, we identified a group of
Mhm.
eight third graders, and
Yeah.
they were struggling a bit with their foundational math skills.
Yeah.
But with the targeted interventions that we have been providing, I've seen significant improvement and really across the board with the recent assessments.
That's great. That's great, Miss Rodriguez. That's really a testament I can see here to your dedication towards these intervention strategies. Can you kind of walk me through a little bit of their progress that you've seen on these assessments?
Of course. So we have Sarah, for example.
Hmm.
So when we started the intervention, she was really struggling with like basic multiplication concepts.
Hmm.
But now her latest assessment scores, she shows marked improvement, and
Hmm.
she's grasping those concepts much, much more confidently.
That's so great. I remember when you first came in and we were really worried about Sarah and her progress. So I can see here, I mean, really a lot of growth, and it's truly heartening to see that. So, how about the other kids in the group?
So David and Emily also have shown really commendable improvement. David struggled really with just basic arithmetic, and
Hmm.
he's now tackling a lot more of the complex problems that we have with much greater ease.
Yep.
And Emily, who was really, she was hesitant to participate in math activities
Yeah.
initially, and she's become much, much more engaged and proactive in her learning.
Great. Yep. I can see a lot of that right here. I'm so proud that the strides the students are taking, Miss Rodriguez. That's great. Under your guidance, they're making so many gains. So, what do you attribute all of this progress to?
Well, first, thank you so much. I think it's a combination of factors, really. Our small group sessions
Hmm.
allow for much more individualized attention. I've been incorporating hands-on activities with manipulatives and visual aids to make abstract concepts much more tangible to them.
Hmm.
And I've also been providing regular feedback and a ton of positive praise, which
Yes.
is which we both, I believe, fosters a stronger learning environment.
Yeah.
And they feel empowered to take risks and learn from their mistakes.
That's great. It sounds like you've really created a very supportive environment for this group. I'm sure every student feels valued and successful in the work that they're doing. And I can see how far they've come, which is awesome.
Well, your continued encouragement and support really, like, it means the world, Principal
Of
Rodriguez. It
course.
really does.
Of course, I'm here for you every step of the way. And I do want to remind you that I am so impressed with the progress that this group has made. I know when they were in second grade, they weren't receiving these interventions and it was a lot harder for them. So I can see the growth that they're making. I did notice here, though, there's one student who is showing some inconsistencies here. If you can see this data point right here, what is your plan to address this student's needs and provide maybe some additional support that he's requiring right now?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I think you're referring to Alex,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been closely monitoring his performance, and while
Yeah.
he's shown improvement in some areas, his test scores are inconsistent
Yeah,
at
I
best,
see that.
really.
Hmm.
Some days he really seems to understand, and then when it's time to assess, it's as if he hasn't retained what we have worked towards.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great that we have had these shorter cycles of monitoring in between the larger tests to be able to catch these things before they come up, at the end of the year on our standardized CTP. So, are you saying that his daily exit slips are showing that he understands each day's lessons or not?
Well, I guess I haven't been completely consistent in administering exit slips daily.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I do understand that there's so much to get to each day. I remember being in the classroom. I mean, it's a struggle when you're working with a group and you're trying to get to so many things before getting to the next thing on your schedule. But we really, really do have to ensure that these exit slips are getting tracked every single day. If not, we're not going to be able to track the progress that he's making in between. So what goal do you think we can set together right now for Alex's progress and also just for your implementation of daily assessment?
Yeah, so as a whole, I need to make sure that we spend a few minutes at the end of each lesson getting to the exit slip.
Yeah.
Or some sort of formative
Mhm.
assessment, at
Mhm.
least. My plan for Alex involves implementing more frequent check-ins to assess his understanding and providing him with extra practice opportunities and possibly bringing his parents in for a meeting to suggest a full evaluation.
Yeah.
Now that he's been working in tier 3 intervention for 2 consecutive years and still, I mean, he's still not showing the growth that's needed. Maybe there are some additional accommodations that can be put in place to better support him.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a thoughtful approach. Just looking here, I really think that everything you're saying really tracks to what we need to do. Um, how do you intend to track the effectiveness of these supports that you're going to put in place for him?
I plan to keep detailed records of his progress, including the performance on assessments, his engagement during lessons, and any feedback I receive from him and his parents.
Mhm.
So by regularly analyzing this data, I'll be able to gauge the impact
Yeah.
of the additional support strategies and adjust as needed to ensure Alex is progressing towards his goals.
Great. I think that's a great plan. And it's definitely essential to have this kind of well-defined plan in place. I think that we won't be able to be effective without it. So I do appreciate that you're taking a proactive approach. I appreciate that you've been honest with me today in order to address Alex's needs and just the needs of the whole group. I think that, we need to make sure no student is left behind. I know it can feel like it's just one, but we can't leave that one behind. So do you think that there's anything more you might need from me in order to support Alex or just the remainder of the group throughout the rest of the year?
Well, thank you, Principal Adams. Having your support means a lot. If possible, I'd appreciate having some flexibility in the schedule to allow for more one-on-one time with Alex and as well as support during the parent meeting. That would really be helpful.
Sure, yeah, we can move some things around and I'll make sure that I'm available. You just keep me in the know of when you're going to bring his parents in if it comes down to that, and I'll make sure I'm